So what is the concept for today? It's pseudo classes in CSS. So what is the pseudo class? It's used for styling an element using the state of the element. Say if I move my mouse over a link, I want a certain style to be coming into effect. So pseudo class is nothing but you use the state of the element. For instance, an element is empty. You don't have text for a paragraph element. You want to style it, then you can go with pseudo classes. Pseudo classes are nothing but you style an element using the state of the element. So let's take up examples. Let's create a web page. So I'm going to have the live preview of whatever I'm doing here to the right side, and let me code a web page here. So here we'll call this pseudo class tutorial. So the pseudo classes are extensively used in CSS styling. So if you're new to this, please listen. So we'll create a web page and then we'll have a division. We'll call that division with the class name first. We'll have some paragraph tags inside this. Maybe I'll say this is first paragraph. Like that, we can have many paragraph tags here. So I need to code this like second. So we'll have some paragraph tags. So these are the paragraph tags. Not only that, I'll have another division, and I'll call this division as with the class name second, and I'll have some more paragraph tags here. So this is first paragraph from second. I'll just say this. Maybe I'll have three here. This is second paragraph, some second, something like that. So this is third paragraph. Maybe I'll have an horizontal line just to say these two are two different divisions. You can see on the screen. So this first is the parent element, and these paragraph elements are the child elements for that parent. So you have two parent elements here, you have another parent element, and you have child elements here. Now we will see how to use pseudo classes. For that, we'll be learning all these pseudo classes. First, we'll take a look at first child. So select all the paragraph elements which are the first child, which is the first child, and let me color them red. So there is one issue here, that is the normal thing which I always do, that is linking my external style sheet. So my style.css is the external style sheet. See, the moment when I link my style sheet, the first child under the first parent and this first child under the second parent, they got styled. So that's the use of first child. Likewise, you also have last child, the reverse of it. So you want to go from the last and style. So now you see the last child in this parent and the last child in this parent is getting styled. So first child, last child. These are the first two tags. First of type, last of type. So this is like first of type. What do you mean by first of type? Select all the elements that are of type paragraph and that is occurring first. So it's just like first child, but here it's selecting only elements of type paragraph. So here in this first paragraph element and here also the first paragraph element, what is first of type? Elements of type paragraph that occurs first inside your parent. Likewise, when you have first of type, what else you can have? Last of type. So this is selecting from the last the elements of type paragraph that occurs under the parent. So this is the last parent, this is the last paragraph under this parent, and this is the last paragraph under this parent. So are you clear with this? Next comes the most important thing, nth child. So while we are styling tables, we'll be using nth child frequently. So what is this nth child? You can see, you can give nth child, and then I say I want to style child number 2. You can see this is child number 2 in this parent and this is child number 2 in this parent. So you can go to a specific child inside the parent. For instance, I can give 3. So this is child number 3. So you can go to any specific element using the nth child. What do you mean by nth child? It's the child element inside a parent. And nth child is that specific child, child 3. So you can also go with something more real like nth child odd. Select all the odd numbered children inside the parent. You see here 1, 3, 5, 7. And here 1 and 3 gets style. When you have odd, the other one you have is even. So now you can go with n style even. So select all the children that are even numbered. 2, 4, 6. This is 2. So nth child odd, nth child even. Not only that, you can also give some expressions here like 2n. So it starts from n is equal to 0. So 2 into 0, that's nothing, like 2 into 1 is 2, 2 into 2 is 4, 2 into 3 is 6. So when I give 2n, it will be 2, 4, 6, 8 like that. When I give 2n plus 1, what will happen? So it's 2 into 0 plus 1. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7. You understood? So you can also give expressions. It's not only 2n, you can also give 3n minus 1, whatever you want, you can do there. So you'll be able to find the multiples and then you'll be able to style it. So this is also effectively used 2n plus 1, 2n, 2n minus 1, 3n. You can think of any possibilities like that. So this is what we have learned: nth child n, nth child odd, nth child even, nth child 2n plus 1, nth child 2n. So when you have nth child, the same thing repeats for nth last child. So you can say nth last child. From the last, you style all the say from the last two. What it means, you this is that parent. From the last, you go to the second element. So from the last, it goes to the second element. Like that, from the last, third. Again, you can give all those things here too. From the last, but now it considers from the last child. It starts styling it. So nth child, you can have an expression here. You can give odd, even. You can go with last child, or you can go with nth child. You can also give a number so that you are exactly on that number. Only thing is, it will start from the last. Only child, the name itself says, what is this only child? Let's go to our HTML, and what we will do here is we will create another class. We'll call that only, and inside this class, maybe I'll have only one paragraph element. Say this is the only child, like that. Now the thing is, I just want to style the paragraph element which is the only child for that parent. Then you give color to be red. You can see this is the only child alone getting impacted because paragraph is the only child under this parent. So only child we have understood. Next we'll take a look at empty. What do you mean by empty and how it gets triggered? Let's keep things simple. Let me delete all these things. Let me go with a simple paragraph element here. Empty in the sense I'm not going to have any text for this element. I'm going to have another paragraph element. Say this is having some text, right? So this is empty. How to style which is empty? Select that element which is empty, and we can give some height and width. Height to be 100 pixels and width to be 100 pixels, and we can give color to be red. So this is going to style only that element that is empty. It's not color, it's maybe background color. That's not text here. I'm sorry. Why it's not working is I given text color. There's no text color for that because there's no text in that empty thing, right? We can give background color to be red. So now it's working. Yeah. So what is that happening here is this is having some text that is not getting impacted, but that is whichever that is empty, you're going to have height, width, and background color of red. Because it's empty, I gave color, it was not showing anything on the screen. So that is the thing with respect to empty. Now we'll move on to other things like required, optional, disabled, check. This is with respect to input elements. So let's try all these things now. you all know the input form elements, right? Input type elements. Let me have input type to be text, and let's have two such text elements that are coming as input. You can see to the right hand side, you have two elements. Maybe I'll have a break tag here. So this is one input element of type text. This is another input element of type text. I'll make one of the elements to be required. So one is mandatory, one is optional. Now I can style the input element whichever that is required. I can say input type equals text. So we are selecting the element which is having the input type text, and we can say whichever is required. You select that, and then you can apply some background color yellow. You got this? So why this is not getting this background color yellow? Because this is optional. So whatever that is required, we can change it as yellow. The opposite of required is optional. Whatever that is optional, you change it as yellow. It's opposite of required. So required, optional. You can also have something like, let me remove the styling here. You can also have something like disabled, right? Disabled is in the sense the user will not be able to enter the input. See, it's disabled. I can enter input here, I can't enter input here. So when you have something as disabled, you can also style that by just giving disabled. And again, you give some background color yellow, something like that. See. So this applies only for that input which is disabled. So required, optional, disabled, we have seen. There's also one more thing called focus. So let's see what is that focus is all about. We have two text elements, input type text. Whichever element I'm going to focus will have that color applied. So what is input type text focus? See, when I focus on this element, it's yellow. When I focus on this element, that style will be applied. So this is for input type text. So you understood all these things: required, optional, disabled, input type focus. There's one more concept called check. What is check? With what kind of elements you'll use check? Check will be part of which kind of an HTML element? Checkboxes, radio options, right? So let's see. Let's create an input type radio, and we'll say this is check. By default, it's check, and the option is mail. So whenever an option is checked, some styling should come into place. For this, what we'll do is input type. What is this input type? Radio will say, if it is checked, what I'll do is I'll have some height and width increase for this element. So height 100 pixels, width 100 pixels. So it's like only when it is checked, this thing will come into effect. Let me go with another thing. Let's have one more input type radio. Input type is radio, and this is not checked. This is female, and we'll have a break tag here. So now you see the output, right? This is checked, this is not checked. But when I check this, that styling comes into effect. So this kind of an styling comes into effect only for elements that are being checked. Got it? Now we'll go with the next famous effect which you might have used already. That is hover effect. What is hover effect? You go to code spindle. So on my platform too, I have used lot of hover effects. You would have felt the hover effects. What is hover? If I move my mouse, you can see there's an hover effect here, there's an hover effect here. If I go to a specific subject, and then you see there's an hover effect here. So that's when you move your mouse over something, some kind of styling comes into effect. So how will you create an hover effect? Let's create a div, and let's style it. Say there is a div here. Maybe for this div, I'll give a class name. Class to be dot first. We'll go to a styling, and then we'll say dot first. We'll access, and then we'll give some height and width here. Height to be 200 pixels and width to be 200 pixels. We'll give a background color to be some red. And now we'll again go to that class. When I move my mouse over, so I can say when I hover, that's the style, I can have a background color that is changing to yellow. So that's the hover effect. So you can apply that on links, you can apply that on whatever elements you want to have. When you hover it, the change happens. And finally, you have this root element. What is root element in HTML? This root element in HTML is the HTML document itself. That HTML element is the root element. So you can access the root element and you can, for the complete document, you can give some styling. See, this is for the root element. So you can access that using colon root. There's one more thing which I have learned, that is on link styling. So for link styling, what is that we understand is, say you can have some links. Href, this is a link to my home page or something like that. Like that, I can have some links here. This is a link to another page, exercise2.html. This is a link to register. So this is like maybe contact page. I'll have a break tag everywhere. Okay, so now I can style my links. How I can style my links? Maybe I'll use the anchor tag. Font size I'll give 40 pixels. If I give, it's too 40 because I've given it's pixels. Okay, so 40 pixels we have done. Now for all the links, I can select a link. These are like the links that are unvisited. So let's and then you can give color to be red. The links that are unvisited. So if you go to a web page, there will be links. When you click on a link, the color will change. That's what we are seeing here. And we can also have a visited, or our effect also we can give on the links like this. Maybe background color, or you can also give the font color to change. Say color to be some blue. So when I hover, the color is going to change. If you want to have a background color, you can have a background color to be aqua. So this effect you are going to get. The same effect which I have applied on code spindle, right? So you're going to hover over the links. If a user visits the link, visited will have a different color. Say color is uh, black. Let's go with black itself. So there is this set of links which are colored red. When I hover over it, some effect I'm going to get. When I visit the link, the color will change to black. Now let's check the output. For this, you should first clear your browser cache. If you want to see something to work here, and then you go to your where is this URL? So I have cleared my browser cache here. So here you see the hour effect, but when I click on contact, it takes me to another page. When I come back, contact is in black color because it's a visited link. So if you really wanted to see the output of this, every time you have to clear your browser cache. So we have learned lot of pseudo classes. What is a pseudo class? Using the state of the element, you are going to apply some styles. Are you all clear with this? See how effective it is. You will be applying that extensively in your websites.